Hello and welcome to Esther's Gardening Adventures. I'm Esther, and today I'm going to be talking about something that's been on my mind yesterday and today that's been making decisions on what to do next for my garden difficult, and I'll explain to you what that's all about. But please stick around because tomorrow I'm going to post a tour of the entire garden, where I'm at, and show you my winter sowing containers, how they're doing. Those are the seedlings I grew outdoors in milk jugs over the winter and early spring, and I think you're going to be really excited by those results. So please make sure to check back in tomorrow as well as checking out this video. I want to talk really quick about something that is causing me to be in sort of a state of, feel like I'm in a state of limbo and having action paralysis. And I don't know if this ever happens to you, but basically due to some very fortunate circumstances that involved me looking out the window at the right time, I saw a swarm of termites coming out from under the foundation of our house. And I called an inspector, and I didn't know what it was. I had to take photos, and Google Lens was my best friend. I called an inspector who has come out to the house before, because when we bought the house, it had something called powder post beetles in the basement, which hadn't caused any damage, so luckily those were caught fast enough. So I called those people. They came out. The guy looked at what there was, and he said, well, you're fortunate because this is a new infestation. This is a new infestation, and it doesn't look like they've done any damage. It looks like they just got settled. And he went in the basement. He didn't see any damage down there. So we're getting treated, but we're getting treated on Wednesday. And ignore the ladder. I had to go up in the tree to get something. But that over there is where they were coming out. And look how close that is to my vegetable bed. And so I have gone out to Home Depot, excuse my breakfast energy drink, and I bought some plastic drop cloths that I'm going to put down, and I took one out to see if it would be feasible. It's not very thick. It's the kind of thing you put down if you're going to paint inside, right? And I am going to, they're 9 by 12 feet, and I'm going to cover all of the beds out here with this the morning that the treatment's going to be made outside. And I'm going to cover my winter sowing containers. And because they'll be treating one side of the house as well, where they think the termites might have gotten in through a crack that I wasn't aware was there, I'm also going to be covering my 2 shade beds in the back, because I really don't want to take a risk of drift of bug killer getting into the soil. And as a result, it has me in real limbo, because as I'll show you, my winter sowing jugs, the seedlings that I've grown through the winter sowing process, are ready to be transplanted. We are going to have some evening temperatures that are going to be in the low 40s, overnight temperatures that are going to be in low 40s this coming week. And so I would be taking a risk by transplanting some things, but I would love to be able to be transplanting out the calendula, the other flowers, even some of the tomatoes. And I really don't feel comfortable putting them in. They would go in this front bed. They would go in this front yard, even if they were in containers. And I don't feel really comfortable transplanting them until after this whole pest treatment happens. And it's just really frustrating to me, because today is gorgeous. It's going to be only like 70 outside. And I was really looking forward to transplanting everything out. But my biggest concern is if I'm transplanting something, I know I have a way to protect it, that plastic that I bought. And I need to buy some little rocks to put around to help anchor them down. But I know I have a way to protect the beds. I'm going to protect both the part where there's vegetables and the empty soil where I plan on growing anything, because I don't want that poison in the soil that I'm going to be eating from. But So that's not an issue. But I'm worried that if I put a fragile seedling in and I don't put a whole bunch of support systems up, and this plastic is very, very flimsy, you know, it's just gonna do the job for a day, for a couple of hours, you know? And I'm just worried that I might snap or hurt the seedlings, or they might get overheated more than necessary by being covered in plastic for a few hours while I'm waiting for the guy to spray. Because, you know, contractors never show up on time, and I'm gonna have to have these plants covered in the daytime with plastic, which could kill them. So I feel like I'm in limbo, and it's driving me crazy. There's plenty of things to do around the yard. I need to trim the side yard. Some of the bushes that we had pulled up, we didn't have taken out entirely by the roots, and they're starting to come back, so I need to cut those back. I need to cut the limb off of a tree. I need to do some basic yard work that will be continuing to work on the garden, right? But it's not the stuff I want to do. It's not the fun stuff of planting up seedlings that you've grown all winter long and have been anticipating. And I know I only have to wait a week or even just till Thursday, right? But it's kind of torture for me. And I hope as gardeners you'll commiserate. And I kind of feel like this week is sort of pest week for me, because this morning, you'll notice the ladder. This morning I was sitting here and I was looking up into the maple tree, and you know, it has these beautiful, well, I'll grab one. It has these beautiful, you know, the helicopter seedling things. And I love how it has these pink tips. I mean, isn't that just so pretty? Just so pretty. Stunning. Really, really, really beautiful. I wonder if they're sticky. I remember as a kid I used to stick them to your nose because they would have that sap. No, okay. But really pretty. And I was admiring it, drinking my breakfast energy drink. So I was looking up in the tree, and I saw a branch with bagworms on it. And I thought, oh no. And bagworms, basically how you identify it is, when I was a kid, we had a huge problem with this in our neighborhood. Or, you know, I saw them happening. And how you identify it is basically, it's a web of the leaves that are dying, and the worms will emerge from there, and they basically can kill a tree, as far as I know. Now, I admit, I haven't researched it. Bagworms might not even be the right term for it, but I know they're bad, and I know you need to get rid of them as soon as possible. So I got out I love this ladder, by the way. It can collapse down into a W shape and take up very little space in the shed, and I really like it. The rungs aren't as thick as I'd like. They're not great if you're wearing shoes that, you know, don't have a huge support system. Like if I often do things in my flats, which isn't very great. But I got out the ladder, and I got out the saw. Oop, I have some leaves on it. I cut down those branches. They were small branches, luckily. And then I walked around and inspected the rest of the tree as much as I could. And I'm going to keep a really close eye on it to make sure I caught everything. I did find one place where it was very subtly starting to clump the leaves together in a little net, a little web, and I cut that one down. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this tree. I put them in the trash. The trash goes out on Wednesday, and I might pour some bleach down in there to help ensure they're dead or something. I don't know. But I just kind of feel like I'm seeing pests that I didn't expect to see as a new homeowner, and you just kind of have to be vigilant and watch for that stuff. But all that said, I am so thrilled to even have the opportunity to have these problems, to have the opportunity to experience what it's like to be a homeowner and to be able to garden and do what I want and what I love. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please hit the like button. I look forward to hearing your comments as well. And if you aren't already a subscriber, please consider doing so. Make sure you have that bell button set to get alerts for when I post new content. And otherwise, I'll see you next time.